In this video, I'll guide you through the Burning Crusade Alchemy Specialization quest, and also an easy strategy to save yourself a lot of gold. So the first thing you need to do is to make sure you're reaching level 325 in Alchemy. Next, your character also has to be at least level 68, as this is the level requirement to start each individual specialization quest. Next, head to Hellfire Peninsula. As a Horde player, you would like to enter this building in Thrallmore, and as an Alliance player, look out for this building in Honorhold. First, I will cover Potion Master, but if you're looking for one of the other specializations, then I've also added a timeline so you can easily skip to this. The first quest in this chain requires you to head to Sankamarsh and speak to this NPC right here. She will give you a follow-up where you're required to craft different potions, or will at least bring those to her, and also an item from a dungeon. Starting with the potions. The first one you can just learn at your trainer. This is going to be the Super Healing Potion. The two other potions is purchased through a recipe. As a Horde player, you can find this in Blade Edge Mountains. And next, you just gotta buy the recipe for Super Mana Potion and also Major Dreamless Sleep Potion from this troll. As an Alliance, we need to head to two different locations. The first here in Sankamarsh, where you gotta find this Draenei. Once you have purchased the recipe for Super Mana Potion, you gotta head to Terracore Forest, and at this location there is going to be a gnome where we can purchase the recipe for Major Dreamless Sleep Potion. Alright, so next we gotta assemble a 5-man party and head into the dungeon Botanica located in Netherstorm. You don't need to clear the entire dungeon, you just gotta make sure you're killing the second boss and looting the field guide. Next, head back to Sankamarsh to become a Potion Master. But what we can do here is also an insane trick. For 150 gold, you can now unlearn your specialization, and you can then head to one of the other alchemy trainers to become, for example, Elixir Master or even Transmutation Master. The reason why I highlight this trick is because the two other specialization quests are either more difficult to do or more expensive. Now I'll show you why it's more expensive by doing the Master of Transmutation quest. First, we gotta head to Stormspire in Netherstorm. Even though we are not being told to head into any dungeons, then we are being told to provide 4 Primal Might. These has a long cooldown and also requiring many different primals. So even though you don't need to head into any dungeons, then this is also going to be rather expensive to do. First, you also gotta head to Shattered City and purchase the recipe for the Primal Might. Next, you gotta provide a Primal Earth, Air, Mana, Water, and Fire. You can farm those all over Outland or just buy them on the auction house. This will craft 1 Primal Might, and the cooldown is 20 hours, and you need a total of 4 of these. So almost 4 days to complete the quest, unless you buy Primal Mights on the auction house, which will be rather expensive. Next up, the quest line to become an Elixir Master. First, you gotta head to this location in Shattered City. Speak to the Master Alchemy Trainer to receive your follow-up, where you need to provide different elixirs, but also 10 items from a dungeon. Elixir of Mastery is learned at your trainer at level 315. Elixir of Major Agility is unlocked by reaching Honored with Honorhold or Thrallmore. If you're an Alliance, you gotta make sure you're reaching Honored with Honorhold, and as a Horde player, Thrallmore. You can do this quite easily just by doing dungeons or the quest in Hellfire Peninsula. The last recipe is purchased right here in Sankamarsh as an Alliance player at the Alchemy Supplier. As a Horde player, you will instead need to head to Blade Edge Mountains and speak to the troll. Next, we gotta do a dungeon, or in fact 2 dungeons, located here in Caverns of Time in the classic zone to Neris. At the entrance, you gotta accept a quest from this dragon. This will take you down to the center, and here there will be a couple of follow-ups where, for example, need to follow a servant and also do the dungeon Old Hillspread Foothills. Once you have completed the quest in Old Hillspread Foothills, you will also be attuned to head into Black Mirage, and this is the dungeon you need to do, as there's going to spawn creatures from the different rifts, and these are dropping the item you need for your Elixir Mastery quest. Once you have collected all 10, you're then ready to head back to Shattered City to hand this in and also become an Elixir Master. Once again, I would like to highlight that after completing your mastery quest, you can speak to the trainer, pay 150 gold, and then unlearn your mastery. Next, you can then head to one of the other locations, for example the Transmutation Master, and learn this instantly. It's going to save you a lot of time and gold in the beginning if you don't want to provide 4 primal mites. This is just one out of many useful videos you can find on my channel, and soon I'll also release a lot more, for example gold making, leveling, tips and tricks, professions, and a lot of other useful things. And you definitely don't want to miss those, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Peace.